That's right, team. 7 days ago, it is entirely likely that you might have spent a few minutes of your life observing a video or audio presentation similar to this one in which you heard news of what our assorted members have been up to in the video game world for the past week or so. Being that that was a week ago, we can't use the same news over again because apparently that's not how time works. So this week, you get to hear all about what happened last week as opposed to the week before that in this week's Thunder Cougar Falcon Bulletin. Planetside news first. Our Friday Ops was an adventure on Hossen for the duration of a capture alert. We had 2 squads, with Mighty running infantry and platoon leading, and Nerve taking a Bravo squad out for a run. Both squads ran public to great success and everyone had a fantastic time. For the duration of the actual alert, both squads operated mostly independently, occasionally falling together to help capture a base. For most of the alert, the TR and NC focused on each other, so we capped a lot of territory with minimal resistance, aside from the odd biolab here and there. For the most part, the Alpha team made a push along with other VS forces south to the new conglomerate warp gate, and the Bravo squad worked on holding off the Terran Republic forces that were pushing around Easter Khan biolab and the Woodman ASE labs. Eventually, when it became evident that Vanu was going to win the alert based on territory and capture timers alone, the Bravo squad moved down to help capture Four Fingers, as the Alpha team and a group of allied Vanu forces held out at Whispering Pass against a large onslaught of NC, fresh out of their warp gate for the final 10 minutes of the alert. We had a few awesome moves in and around that fight, with the Alpha squad holding off against a lot of NC armor coming out of the warp gate, while the Bravo team worked tirelessly to hold the capture point against the tide of infantry. It was a great opportunity to fight at the bases on the edge of Hossen, as they don't see quite as much action and they all have some interesting designs. Eventually, the alert finished with a Vanu victory, and we cheerfully signed off for the evening, a job well done all round. Our Sunday Ops was a 3-hour session on Amrish. We had Mighty running an Alpha squad, and Steelgrin running the Bravo team for the night. Both squads ran predominantly as mobile infantry, moving around the map independently as needs dictated. The night started off shortly after an alert had finished and Amrish was unlocked. We started to fly over to Raven's Landing, and then we ran into all the mosquitoes on the TR. After we'd been thoroughly shot down, in flames, we set up some ground-to-air shenanigans at the ascent. After we shot down a fair few TR aircraft, we eventually started moving ourselves onto other things around the map. We assisted Allied forces with a few captures in the north against the NC, before deciding that we wanted to go and capture Araxis Firearms Corp, which we totally did. The capture was largely smooth sailing until about the last 3 minutes when a bunch of TR turned up to boot us out. Fortunately, we managed to keep control of the 2 of the 3 capture points and we were able to capture the base for Vanu. Another notable deployment from the evening was a save at Subterranean Nanite Analysis, in which we arrived via Galaxy and repaired the generators on the top level, and then spawned in the spawn room and made a big push to clear out the point, after which we fought our way up from the bottom of the base for the resecure. After this, the team moved over to Crux headquarters to save against the NC who were attacking at the time. Lots of excellent vehicle usage and managing to intercept enemy galaxies assisted us in the defense of the base. Moving for other Planetside reports, we've fortunately been able to run a few impromptu ops sessions during the week, running alerts for most of the weeknights and trying to catch the tail end of the primetime alerts, with publicly accessible squads for each. We've had a lot of opportunity to meet great new people, and there's been an amazing enthusiasm for people to have a go at squad leading recently. Thanks for the continued enthusiasm for the game, and for everyone's continued efforts. It's definitely been a hot streak of Planetside in the last few weeks. Moving on to other games for this week, a few folks within the team have been hard at work generating a Cards Against Humanity deck for us, featuring custom cards relative to the life of our outfit. There is a submission for new cards, as well as an example of some of the current ones in the associated thread on our forums. Back to actual games with graphics instead of ones that rely on social conventions, Rocket League has recently been released and captured the attention of loads of people. Rocket League is a game based on that episode of Top Gear where they play soccer with cars, but they also mix in that episode of Mythbusters where they strap a JATO rocket to a car. The end result is a game that scales from 1v1 up to 4v4, with rocket cars based soccer. Our current lineup for the game includes Numbers, Jet, Boogie, Patchwork, Nojun, Buggerlugs, Steelgrin, Sparrow, Janks, Fizzwiz, and Rabbity Rabbit. If you're itching to check out what the hubbub is about, Rocket League is available on Steam for $20, and there's usually a few rounds a night going on at the minimum. This concludes this week's edition of Bulletin Action. If you have any awesomely amusing or interesting news over the next week, feel free to get in touch with Mighty and become a trendsetter. Until next week, be excellent to each other.